I had to experience have been followed and held by suspected Chinese agents even in central London for 3 times.
Everything got triggered by what happened in Hong Kong last year. We didn't think of moving to the UK that soon. We were thinking about moving maybe after we have retired.
I would be a little bit different with many BNO citizens because I'm quite vocal and active in the pro-democracy activisms in the UK. So I've been singled out by the CCP regime as like the traitors or troublemakers or anti-China figures. So I think it would be even greater than others BNO citizens at this moment. I had to experience have been followed and held by suspected Chinese agents even in central London for 3 times.
With the situation in Hong Kong, it's pretty obvious that there's a gradual disappearance of freedom there. And the battle for democracy is not going to end anytime soon. This is not some conspiracy theory, not some scaremonger. It's something really real. They left Hong Kong because of CCP.
I do concern about my safety, and hopefully that the UK government or police officers, etc., that can pay close attention for this kind of the potential harassment in the future.
They may be worried that if they're too outspoken, they may be targeted, and that might affect their application for permanent residency at the end. So these are the common worries.
They would be quite concerned about their security in here because they understood that the whole BNO visa route is not welcomed by the Beijing authorities.
Personally, I do think people in UK need to be worried about it and need to pay more attention to this kind of stuff because this is to do with national security and they're more imminent than a lot of people think. More particularly to them, maybe they worry about CCP infiltration as well, so they may be less willing to expose identity and go out to expand the network because they may be worried that they may be targeted by the CCP.
I think that would be a potential issue for Hong Kong as well, that they would feel safe and live in here quietly.
For those who only arrived recently, they have a much stronger link to the people in Hong Kong. So I think based on what I've observed, a lot of them still, although they want to do more to support the democratic movement in Hong Kong, but they're also worried about exposing their identity that might affect the connections in Hong Kong.
The UK previously in World War II, they were on the front line to deal with Nazi Germany when there's no any other countries that they dare to stand against it. But Hong Kong is now in 21st century. We also stand on the front line to deal with a very, very powerful totalitarianism.
The CCP infiltration and the threat to UK is imminent. It's not something that only is happening over in the Far East. It's happening right here in British society, right next to everyone.
So we wanted to set up a very vibrant diasporic Hong Kongers communities around the world, especially in the UK, because in the UK it would be very historical, iconic places. Physically, Hong Kong people in Hong Kong or in China, they cannot win over those soldiers and armies and police officers with guns. We're just ordinary people. But how about we move it on the cyberspace? Because on the cyberspace, they cannot have any guns at all. So now we're in the talk with cybersecurity experts to see how to make sure those people back in Hong Kong can safely engage.
Because there's an incident that in Hong Kong, the extradition law protests, and I think the way the government and the police handle the whole matters disappointed us. It seems like that there's some very suspicious collaboration between the police and the again to attack the protesters I think it's a bit scary to us that can happen in Hong Kong at this time. So we decided to move our family to the UK. Since we both of us hold the British passport, it makes things easier for us, so we can move quickly.
And my son is currently 10 years old. He doesn't hold a British passport like we do. He holds the Hong Kong SAR passport. So in order for him to come over and be a citizen, we need to apply for visa.
We want him to grow up in an area that he can speak freely and not worry what will happen to him if he say something. And I don't want him to have some brainwash education like what Hong Kong is heading to at the moment.
I think it's more a struggle for him. Like for us, we have company of each other, and we do have like some adult friends, so it's better. Yeah, but it's hard for him. Yeah.
When we look for school, that is part of the concern. We don't want a school that is full of like the people from mainland China, or the like people, well, the Chinese people that is not from Hong Kong, or because we want to mix culture. We don't want like a school that have a lot of influence from the Chinese or the Chinese government, because that's where we try to run away from. We don't want to go back there and mix with the same kind of people. We have the confidence in the UK government because the government is elected by the people ultimately, right? So it cannot be gone far wrong if they did too much and lean too much towards China. I guess people here won't be happy, and they will get voted down at the end. We plan to settle down here. We don't have plan to go back. No. Well, for visit, for sure we go back to visit our friends and family, but for the long term, I don't see myself to go back to Hong Kong and live.
As I'm also one of the activists, I need to have a very unconditional faith that I believe one day I could be back to Hong Kong. But only one condition for me will be that Hong Kong is democratic and free.